the second episode of Reppin' with Gina G. And I'm your host, Gina G. And tonight we are talking about the Vikings game coming up. Sorry, I'm a little off. So this show is where I rep my teams by the bay. In tonight's episode, I'm repping the San Francisco 49ers. I'll be joined by an array of guests to discuss the second preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings. To get us started, I'm going to introduce the Vikings fans that are joining us tonight. So welcome to the show, Jade and Rick. As I bring them on. Welcome, Jade.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. I'm excited.
And Rick. Hi, Rick.
Hello, Gina. Hey, Jade. Thanks for having me over.
Why don't you guys just introduce yourselves real quick? Jade,
Sure.
How long have you been a fan?
Oh, I've been a fan. Came out of the womb purple. So been a fan my whole entire life. And you can find me. I have my own channel. It's Sports and Stars with Jade over on YouTube if you want to check it out. I mainly talk about the Minnesota Vikings and Minnesota sports, but I kind of dabble in all of the sports. I live stream all the Vikings games. And then I also combine astrology with sports too. So that's what I do over on my channel. And then on Twitter, if you want to follow, I'm at AHipHipLady over there.
Great. Thank you. And Rick, how long have you been a fan? Since the womb too?
No, not quite. I moved to Minnesota about 28 years ago or so, and wasn't quite a Vikings fan at that moment. Maybe a little bit undecided. Lived in Niagara Falls, Buffalo area for a long time, so I kind of had some affection for the Buffalo Bills. But then I came and kind of fell in love with the team once Randy Moss was drafted in that 1998 season, and just kind of been a fan since, and going through the pain and suffering of being a Vikings fans for 20 whatever years.
Yeah.
And we're still here. So I mean, that's got to be something to be said. I know you guys are referred to as the faithful, but at least you have some trophies that you can be faithful to. We got nothing, so
yeah.
we try to be faithful as well.
Yeah.
I get you on that. And next, I'm going to be introducing my 49ers family, starting with the wonderful, beautiful Miriah. Welcome, Miriah and Taryn, Magic.
Hi, thank you for having us.
And
hey, thank you for having me.
No, and you guys have a podcast together?
Yep.
Yes.
What's that called?
Faithfully Pod. It's on YouTube, and starting the first game of the season will be anywhere that you get your podcasts.
Sweet. And Miriah, I'm excited to have you on tonight because I've been wanting to work with you. And Taryn, we are familiar with each other from my other podcast. We've been on Twitter Spaces together, so glad to talk with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you inviting me and Miriah to come on here. It's awesome.
Of course. And last but certainly not least, my friend, my colleague, my partner in crime, Adam, who probably to no fault of his own is a Steelers fan, and he is more than welcome to join the show. And he's not going to referee or anything. He's just going to, join in on the fun. So we're going to have a great time tonight.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
How are we doing this evening, everyone?
Good.
I know I was late to the party, but I got out of work late, so. But here we are, ready to roll.
Made it.
That's right. Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
So Niner guys, are they going to sign Ty Gibson or what?
Probably not.
With Jimmy Ward getting hurt?
I think they like what they have in house. I think George Odom is probably going to play week 1 if Jimmy Ward can't go. But I know we're not. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure the Vikings fans will love to hear this. But the 49ers play the Chicago Bears week 1, and even if Jimmy Ward's not there, we got this W. So
Yeah.
Oh, to
I
get
did.
things kicked off, and just to let everyone know that's listening, we are, we just have like a baseline of topics, but if we don't stick to them, hey, that's just fine. So, with that said, we've got some things to, and Adam, feel free to throw anything out there. I don't mind.
You know me, I do. I throw everything out there I find.
I love you, Adam. So one of the first things that I was asked to ask from another Vikings fan was, is there a Kirk Cousins curse? And when I Googled it, I found quite a few things out there. But before
Oh.
I even mention anything, because I don't think I'm qualified, I wanted to ask Jade and Rick. So ladies first.
Well, I've referred to this a curse on my channel many a time, but I call it the Case Keenum curse. That's what I call it. That's what I call it, which I think coincides because he was the quarterback before Kirk Cousins. So I say that there's a Case Keenum curse. That's what I say. But there's something going on, definitely.
And Rick, how about you? What do you think?
No, there isn't such thing. I think we give too much credit to something that happened recently, which is the signing of Kirk Cousins and Case Keenum and all that. But I think the Vikings have a curse going way further back. I mean, how many times the Vikings have been on the verge of being in the Super Bowl and a missed field goal, or send 12 men on the field in 2009 and Brett Favre throws across his body. I mean,
Yeah.
I can go with so many other things that just add up to the pile of curses. And then
Gary Anderson, should we just throw that in there too?
Gary Anderson,
Yeah.
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh. Yeah.
We have a list that we could use of curses, but in reality, Gina, is our team has made some bad personnel decisions along the way, and we just are paying for it, and that's really the way I believe. I don't believe in curses. I believe in bad personnel management and bad coaching and bad decisions, and that usually doesn't lead to success.
Well, that's why before we got on the show, I thought about, wait a second here. I remember, I was talking to a friend of mine last season who is a Vikings fan, and I said, hey, what's going on with your guys' kicker? Like, I feel really bad for you guys. And I don't even have, I didn't have a dog in the race or anything, but I said, you guys could be winning your games, So now what do you guys see going forward this season?
Well, kicking woes, I don't know. I'm hearing that Greg Joseph, our kicker, speaking of kicking woes, I hear he's killing it, doing great, hitting 60-yarders, everything like that. So fingers crossed, Greggy the Leggy is going to stay solid this year.
I think so too.
Yeah. But, and everybody's saying too, as far as Kirk goes, that this is his year too, especially with new head coach, Kevin O'Connell. They worked together before, so we'll see.
I think the expectations are much higher than 2021. There was a belief that, the Mike Zimmer tenure with the Vikings was expiring for, bad atmosphere in the locker room and the whole complex. There were some stories about he never said hi to people in the mornings, and he acted like, like he owned the place, and, just very kind of managed by fear. And Eric Kendricks made some of those comments too. So this year, if you've been following a little bit what's going on with the Vikings in camp, it's a lot of dancing going on the field, a lot of players feeling really positive, and everybody's happy and all this. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see if that's going to translate into actual wins. But the expectations are definitely higher than last year.
I would agree with what Rick says too. Yeah, definitely higher expectations. I don't know who had them going, like losing like one game. I don't remember who it was. One of the major media people. I don't remember. who it was, but had a very high expectations for them as well. But I think the pressure's on too, like these high expectations, new coach, new general manager also for the Vikings, but it's exciting. But yeah, pressure's on. Pressure's on the purple.
So, Miriah and Taryn, what do you guys think about Minnesota and the curse or non-curse?
Yeah, I don't know about no Kirk curse, but I agree. I think it's been going on long before Kirk's been a quarterback there. And I also agree that there is a lot of pressure on him this season. I think it's time for Kirk to either, win some playoff games, take them to where they need to go, or, be gone, because he makes entirely way too much money for what we've seen out of that team lately.
Yep, absolutely.
So, I mean, there's a lot of talent. They have, if not the best wide receiver in the league, at least, top 3, top 5. There's definitely no lack of talent there. So I think, the coaching change definitely will help as well. I think you could tell last season that it just seemed like stale with that coach, There was just, and like you said, you see him now dancing on the field and all this. And I think that when I would watch them last season, it was like there was no joy coming out of them. Like at the end of the day, they're still playing a kid's game, and there was like they weren't having no fun whatsoever out there. So yeah, I'm expecting to see a lot out of them this season as well.
Yeah, you guys are all making some excellent points here. And, I mentioned before the show off air that I love me some Justin Jefferson. Like, he's literally my favorite wide receiver in the league right now. And then when him and Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook, they got weapons. I think their tight end's name is Irv Smith. Is that correct? You guys got the tight end. So you guys have the offense and stuff like that. And I don't think Kirk Cousins, I agree with Rick and Miriah about the curse thing. I think it was happened way before that. There was, when they had like the Dante Culpeppers of the world and the Randy Moss, like that team was always on the verge of getting to a Super Bowl, but just could not get over that hump, I remember at one point last season, Kirk Cousins was talked about being MVP at one point. Like he was killing it the first 5-6 games. Like he was really killing it. And then when we played them, I want to say it was like week 7, week 8. Like I was kind of worried about it. I'm like, man, like this team, we're pretty equal. I think we're both like 4-4 at the time or something like that. But I was like, man, the Vikings are pretty equal to us. So yeah, I think Kirk Cousins to me is a top 12 quarterback in this league. I feel like the defense has gotten better. They picked up Zadarius Smith, I believe now, and they got him from Green Bay. So that's a huge plus.
Right.
Took away a defensive player from a division rival. So, and I honestly think the Vikings, it could be their year to win that division. I know the Packers been dominant and stuff like that, but with Devontae Adams leaving and stuff like that, I think Minnesota takes a couple steps forward. I know it's harder when you have a brand new coach, but sometimes that's all you need to get that energy going and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the Vikings have a chance to win this division, and I think they finally, get into the playoffs and make some noise as far as having a chance to. Maybe even going to the NFC Championship or something like that. So that's how I feel about the Vikings. They have some weapons, but yeah, like what Rick was saying, there was some times where they were ahead and Dalvin Cook was actually cooking out there, and then they go away from him. I'm like, why would you start throwing the football when Dalvin Cook's been killing? So it's one of those things where poor management comes into play. And so, yeah, those are my observations with the Vikings.
Thank you. And and well, Adam, what do you think as a Steelers fan, at least, but just your own observations?
On the Kirk Cousins curse, I don't think there is one, but looking at his numbers, it seems like he goes like 7 or 8 interceptions, then he jumps up to 13, to 14, and then he jumps back down to 7. So this should be an upper year of interceptions according to his stats.
I love
just
it.
that. But it's funny thing is, whenever he has more interceptions, his completion ratio is better than it is when he has lower interceptions. I don't understand that at all.
Well, I can talk or speak to that a little bit. I think that's kind of one of the things that people want to see out of him. Take a little more risk, because last year he had some games that he played really, really well, and overall the season he had 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. But you have Matthew Stafford, who maybe he had more, not maybe, he did have way more interceptions, but he took a little more risk, and he had the team behind him that he could, and then he, took him all the way to a Super Bowl. So I think people want Kirk to, in certain games, in certain instances, to take a little more risk.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I say one more thing about that? Well, I will say about the Vikings. I have an uncle that's a diehard Vikings fans, and he was kind of worried when he lost Stephon Diggs. He was like, "Man, we're gonna go," but you guys did a great job replacing that. You can argue that Justin Jefferson is equal to Stephon Diggs or better. So that right there was an amazing get, because a lot of people were actually like, "Man, like, what are we gonna do at wide receiver? We only have Adam Thielen, so getting Justin Jefferson and replacing Stephon Diggs was a good get." So yeah, I want to give you guys some props on that one.
Well, quickly, I will just comment on that. I follow the Vikings the last 25 years or whatever, but you had Randy Moss, you had Chris Carter, you had some good receivers, excellent receivers. Justin Jefferson is better than Stephon Diggs. He hasn't played as many years as Stephon Diggs. He's a better wide receiver. And if he's able to play, the same amount of time as Stephon, I mean, in 2 years, he's already surpassed anything that's ever been done in 2 years by a 2-year wide receiver. So.
Sure.
Are the Vikings fans pumped about Jordan Hicks and Ed Ingram also? You already mentioned Zarius Smith.
Ed Ingram's getting a lot of chatter right now. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Yeah, sounds like he might get the start here.
He's been the starter. He's been the starter yesterday and today in both training sessions against the 49ers. I had a chance to talk to him this morning after the practice.
Nice.
He's super excited. It's a very, very nice kid. I think right now he is the starter at right guard. I don't, unless some unforeseen circumstance changes. But I like you mentioned Hicks, because Hicks is a player that is not getting a lot of talk or conversation. Hicks is a very good player. I think he's going to be so underrated, his addition to the Vikings defense.
I kind of want to jump over to the question about, since we're talking Vikings, and Taryn brought up about who the Vikings can match up against and maybe make it to NFC Championship. Do the Vikings stand a good chance against the Pack, the Bears, and the Lions? And I had on Packers fans last week. And of course they were, Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Now, I said that the, most competent opponent for the Packers are the Vikings, bar none, right? So your biggest competition in your division would probably be the Packers, correct?
On paper, yeah, that's what it seems like.
On paper. Yeah, that's good point. Good point.
Yeah.
On paper. So do you guys, see just annihilating the Packers then, or is there stiff
I don't think you can ever count them out with he who shall not be named. I don't even speak his name. Quarterback of the Packers. But yeah, I don't think you can ever count them out. I think the Bears they're struggling. Me personally, I think the Vikings won't have any issue with the Bears, knock on wood. But I think since last year, especially when the Lions beat the Vikings, I think the Lions are a sleeper in the NFC North. I think got to keep your eye on them. I think they're up and coming, the Lions.
Well, here's my take on that. The Packers are the defending champions of the North. So if you want to win the North, you have to beat them. That's just as simple as that. And yes, I will not name that same player that Jay will not name. So, but as long as he's at center or behind the center, the Packers are always a dangerous team. However, the Packers are banking their season on their defense. They're not. I know everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers, but the Packers have been loading up on their defense. Why? Because they know that Rodgers is getting a little older. They don't have the wide receivers,
right?
So
that's true. Yeah.
All their eggs are going into the defensive basket. So if the Vikings offense is able to beat the Packers defense, that's where I think Minnesota has a chance. As far as the other teams, the Bears are going to be terrible. I mean, there's absolutely no question about that.
Yeah.
The team is just got it out. I don't know what Ryan Poles is doing. I don't understand it. I mean, if he's trying to tank and get a different quarterback, I mean, Justin Fields has only been there for a year. He's played like, I don't know, 5 games or whatever. I don't know what's happening in Chicago, but things don't look very good there. Now the Lions, Jade just said, the Lions are the sleeper team. You know how many years I've been hearing that? I've been
We got
hearing
Dan
that
Campbell now, though. Biting
I've been hearing that
kneecaps.
for like 20 years. And you know what? The funny part is, Jade, I said to somebody, I don't know, like a month ago or 2 months ago, I said, you know what? I actually thought the Lions were not bad last year. I
Yeah.
actually thought that they actually, were a half decent team.
Mhm.
And then the person reminded me, they said, Rick, they won 3 games.
That's true. That's true.
So I just caught myself
Yeah.
falling into the trap of like,
That's true.
The Lions are the sleeper team, and the Lions are the Lions, so they always find a way to win
Yeah.
3 games.
That's
like
true.
self-destruct.
True.
Don't forget.
Yep.
Don't forget about that big tie, Rick.
No, I mean,
right.
they were. I
Yeah.
mean, they could have swept the Vikings. They could have swept the Vikings if Greg Joseph doesn't hit a field goal from like downtown Minneapolis.
Right.
If the Lions could have swept the Vikings, so I'm telling you, the Lions, I thought they were a good team, but they only won 3 games.
That's true. The bar's a
remember
little
the-
lower then. Putting it in
Remember-
perspective.
What was it? The Justin Tucker kick from 60 yards on Thanksgiving, right?
Oh yeah, they had probably at least 4 or 5 games that they were like on the verge of winning the games themselves, but
Well, they should have
Yeah.
beat my Steelers.
it's the Lions.
All
Yeah,
right.
they should have beat the Steelers. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
almost came back
They
and
almost
beat
beat-
us. Remember?
Yeah.
They won their first game versus Minnesota, though. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it, too. And right at the end of the game, too. Goff in the end zone. Like, yeah.
I was at Ford Field, so I felt
No.
the pain. I
Yeah.
felt the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So who was covering Brandon Ayuk this week in these scrimmages that they're holding?
I was just
I don't know.
I was commenting to everybody before you hopped on that the San Francisco offense and the Vikings defense, they were training on the field that was farther away from the public or everybody else that was there to see. So I really didn't have a chance to watch much of what was going on that field. So I couldn't tell you pretty much anything about the Niners offense and the Vikings defense. So I don't know.
Because they pretty much shut him down. He only caught the ball 3 times in both scrimmages.
Is he supposed to be the wide receiver number 1 for the 49ers right now?
Right
He's
now
wide
it's
receiver
Debo
too.
Samuel. He is.
Right,
Right now it's
right,
Debo
too.
Samuel's number 1.
Yeah.
So my guess is Cameron Dantzler.
I was just going to say it might be Cam Dantzler. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's segue into the next question. Starting with our guests for my 49ers family, Miriah and Taryn. Who shows more promise, offense or defense? And I'm going to go ahead and say defense according to the training camp and then the scrimmages. Got Bosa and Warner, and you got everybody shutting everybody down. What do you guys think? What do you guys have to say?
Yeah, I
Right.
think for sure defense. I think that, this is going to be a top 3 defense in the league this season. So, I mean, the offense is struggling by all accounts against this defense. I mean, you can look at it as 2 things. The offensive line, still, we have no set offensive line in place. They still haven't made up their minds who the center is going to be. It's like a rotating door there. So Trey Lance isn't getting any protection. The running game can't get going because the offensive line. So it's going to take them some time to, set an offensive line, get some gelling going. Trey Lance is still trying to build chemistry with Debo Samuel since he obviously just got back into the fold of things after being away from the team all offseason. So, yeah, The defense is looking great. I think the offense, we have the weapons to be great, but they just need to get some chemistry going.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. So to go off of what you guys said, I'm going to say the defense shows more promise right now, but by the end of the season, I think it's going to be the offense. The reason why I say that is because I feel like the offense has more superstar talent, I guess you can say, with IU, Debo, Trent Williams, George Kittle, like and we were talking about this on Spaces earlier, like this offense, if they can just get it going, if the offensive line can show some continuity, I think we're going to be scary because it's going to be pick your poison with this offense. And I know, there's a lot of teams who look at their teams and they feel like, oh, our team is, is going to be this, going to be that. And this is not a biased take. Like Debo Samuel carried us last year on offense. And the fact that now he doesn't have to worry about that because, we have a quarterback who can use his legs now. We don't have to really worry too much about the running game. With us getting Ray McLeod from Pittsburgh Steelers, he's been showing some promise in training camp and stuff like that. So if he's our fourth wide receiver, we're in a good spot. And then Danny Gray's been out there killing it. So,
with his speed, he's got speed.
Yeah, and Miriah and I have been talking about this for a long time now too. It's like if our offensive line just can get some kind of continuity where George Kittle doesn't have to block so much, that's another weapon. Because George Kittle is dynamic when he gets the ball in his hands, but he's been used so much as an offensive lineman. He's like a glorified offensive lineman.
Right, he's blocking the whole time.
And I don't like that because if we look at a Travis Kelce and a Mark Andrews from Baltimore, they're not used like that and they kill. So if George Kittle is used like them, along with Ayuk, Debo, and Kyle Juszczyk's another one who's an offensive weapon that doesn't get used properly. So I will say this though, our defense. Let me tell you this. Everybody on this panel knows players always play well in contract years because they want to get that bag. Let me give you 5 names on defense that's playing for contracts. Nick Bosa, Azeez Al-Shaair, Drake Greenlaw, Emmanuel Mosley, and Jimmy Ward. 5 players who are starters who are looking for big deals. That's going to motivate them to play better to get that back in 2023. So as we know, that's just going to make our defense just that more spectacular, I believe, if we can stay healthy, because that's been like the bane of our existence.
Right, totally.
But I just feel like this team, and like I said, I know everybody's kind of worried. It's kind of like 50-50 on Trey Lance right now. Everybody's kind of like, oh, can he do it? Here's what I will say. From what I saw from him in games, he looks excellent. He's gotten better. He's putting more touch on his throws. His deep ball's already there. If he can work on getting more accurate on the underneath routes, this team is going to be awesome. I feel like a top 5 offense and defense towards the end of the year. So that's my.
I just have a quick question just to follow up on that. So for 49ers fans, let's just say, like, hypothetically, if Trey Lance fails or if it goes down, are you all going to turn on him? Like, how are you going to support? Like, what's that going to be like if it all goes downhill for him?
Can I answer this?
Of course. Yes, please.
Just curious. Yeah.
I'm a 49ers fan. If you're not, and one thing I will say about Miriah and I, there's a lot of content creators for the 49ers. Well, me and Miriah and I, we keep it real. If you're not doing your job, we're going to call you out. So whether it's Josh Norman, who wasn't doing good last year, Jimmy G, and I feel like with a lot of 49ers fans, I'm gonna keep it real. I feel like everybody feels like everybody can be criticized except for the quarterback. You talk about Jimmy G, you're a hater, and you do this and that. So
or the coach. A lot of people won't criticize the coach.
You talk about Kyle Shanahan or Jimmy. It's like World War III.
Yeah.
Everybody seriously. But you can talk about an offensive lineman, you can talk about a receiver, that's okay. To me, nobody's above criticism. So if Trey Lance, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if Trey Lance does fail, I will call him out on it because he's not above the team. So I will say this, and I'll let somebody else talk. I don't think he will fail. You're from Minnesota, and me and Miriah, and I've talked about this a few times on our show. I fell in love with Trey Lance when I saw that documentary with him and his dad. He was talking about how when he was like an elementary school, they would go out and play catch. And his dad was like, take some off of your throws. Why are you throwing so hard? Trey Lance was like, I'm not, Dad. This is just the way I throw. But when Trey Lance got into high school, he told his dad, I really want to work out 4 days a week. Can you wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can run and throw you the football? His dad said, I'm not waking you up at 5. If you really want it, come wake me up. And he said that for 3 years in high school, Trey would wake him up four times a week, wake up his dad at 5 in the morning. They would go jog, hit the weights, and throw the football.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I love that. I love that mentality.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just a winner's attitude right there.
Exactly my point. So that's a winner's attitude. So I don't think there's any way that he fails.
Cool. Yeah, right on.
He does like the Kobe Bryant workout. Yeah, you can't criticize the head coach here in Pittsburgh either, because everyone thinks 9 and 8 is great.
I just saw a cool story about Mike Tomlin too, how he brought some kids that were fighting to practice. He saw some kids fighting, and then apparently they were in a community center nearby, and then he brought them to practice, and then
that's nice.
got out of the car, started talking to the kids that were fighting, and then brought them to practice the next day. Y'all hear about that at all? I think it just happened yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I've been at work all day.
I think Jade Glazer said something about it on Twitter or referenced it.
I would comment quickly about Lance being a Minnesota kid. Obviously, people who live in the Twin Cities or Minnesota, we have been somewhat familiar with his career. Growing up in Marshall, going high school there. I mean, apparently, I've not seen that documentary. I guess I'd probably be interested in watching it.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't even know there was one.
I didn't know either. So I guess I have to look for it and watch it. But I can tell you that when he played at Marshall, I mean the conference that they play in is a small town, and the competition perhaps is not the best. But I mean he'd be by halftime they would take him out of the game because they'll be ahead by 40 points or some ridiculous amount.
Wow.
But I do know this for a fact, and I don't know if this is in the documentary. Just stop me and let me know. But I do know that he came to the Twin Cities for a camp at the University of Minnesota. You guys know this story?
I feel like I might have heard something about this now that you're mentioning it, but
I
could finish it. Keep going.
He came for a camp, and with the hope that he would be noticed and the Gophers will be interested in him, because that was his dream. Trey Lance's dream was to play for the University of Minnesota Gophers, but for the Minnesota Vikings. So when he came for the camp, the coach, I don't want to say it was PJ Fleck, might have been the guy before Fleck. He basically said
not Jerry Kill. That Jerry Kill? No.
I might have been Kill.
College sports are not my forte at all.
But whoever it was, told Trey that, you know what? You're just not that good as a quarterback. So we might be interested in you as a safety, but we're not really sure. So we'll let you know.
Yeah, I did see that. They were offering him safety and linebacker and stuff like
that.
Yeah.
So they drove him and his dad drove back to Marshall, and Trey was shattered. I mean, he was like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, what am I going to do? So then fast forward to the North Dakota days and all that. I think Lance is someone with an excellent work ethic, and I can't say that he's going to pan out or not. I don't know that, but I do know that it's hard for the rookies, for younger players to adapt to the NFL, let alone a quarterback. But I would imagine that Kyle Shanahan is probably a pretty good setup for him to be successful. But
yeah,
I guess his high school team was at practice or
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
When I first got to the TCO this morning, I walked by close to the field and I started seeing all these kids with the Marshall Tigers t-shirts or whatever. And I'm like, that's got to be the football team here to see each other.
Yeah.
And you know what I'll do for everybody? I'm going to look for that documentary, and then I'll copy and paste it into our chat so you guys can take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely. Send it over.
And there's another thing too. I feel like he's had so much adversity in his life, and and horrible on this teacher to even say this. I want to say he was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and he had a best friend that they were always class, they were class clowns and stuff like that. And the teacher told Trey, like, you're never gonna amount to nothing because you talk too much and stuff like that. I'm like, and that's crazy telling like somebody who's that young that you talk to my kid like that. I'm going, I'll be at the school. You talk to my kid like that, tell me I'm not gonna be nothing. But yeah, he mentions that as well in the documentary. So yeah, I'm gonna try to find that tonight, and I'll post it in our chat.
I know the upbringing, the growing up in Marshall was not easy for him. That was a difficult time of his life, growing up in Marshall for different reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do want to tell you that was his dream, and you know what? And so was mine. I wanted the Vikings to draft him, and I had the opportunity to cover the NFL draft in 2021, and of course, the Vikings had the Vikings, right? So they picked number 12 or something like that. And I was at the media center in Cleveland when they announced the pick of Trey Lance to the 49ers, and I was like, man, I just wish it was the Vikings so bad.
Yeah, same. But wish him well, though. I mean, I'll always be like cheering for him too, for sure, definitely.
I feel like that's the same with a lot of people in Minnesota. I've heard that, that they seem to be, real Trey Lance supporters. So that's good.
Yeah. Very loyal, I would say. I mean, Bills Mafia are my number 2 just because of Stephon Diggs and Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Vikings number 1 for sure.
And also Trey went to North Dakota, which you go to North Dakota and probably 99% of the state or 98% of the state are Vikings fans.
I'm sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Is Ty Chandler going to be out for a while?
The running back?
Yeah, he got hurt today.
Oh. I did not know that he got
I didn't hear that.
That's not good news. I didn't know.
We got depth with the running backs though, but that's still not good.
Yeah, it's not good. I didn't know that.
I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah,
You guys still have Alexander
really
Madison,
nice.
right?
Yeah, I love Alexander Madison. Yeah.
Still there? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. They said Ty Chandler was like a steal in the 5th round.
Yeah, he was doing fantastic. I now you got me all concerned. Does it say the degree of the injury?
It happened yesterday, actually.
Oh, I'm like looking it up. Didn't hear anything about it.
I hope he's okay for the Green Bay game, which is the one that we really care about. We don't care about anything else but that game.
So the next question is for the NFC West. Can the 49ers win twice against the Seahawks, the Lambs, and the Cardinals?
I hope they sweep the Hawks.
Miriah, you want to, or Adam, you want to start us off?
They should sweep the Hawks, no problem.
And we have a comment from Mark, always faithful 247. Gina, I believe the 49ers will sweep the Hawks and the Lambs, then go 1-1 against the Cards. Mark, I am with you. I agree.
Yeah, I'm saying that we'll sweep the Seahawks and split with both the Rams and the Cardinals. I don't think that, we end up beating the Rams again. It's not going to go on forever that we end up sweeping them every season. So
See, I think that the NFC Championship was a fucking fluke.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you beat a team twice every year for how many years? Come on. I mean, if we're being realistic with ourselves, that can't go on forever. The Rams aren't just some chump cheap team, they're not just going to lay down. That's for sure.
And that's what had me scared. Miriah said it's hard to beat a team twice. Well, try to beat a team in one season 3 times.
Exactly.
That's true.
So when we beat them, when we swept them, it worried me. And it's funny. I was watching the game with my mom, who's a Rams fan, and I was like, "I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Rams win, you're gone. Like, I don't even want to talk to you. You're gonna leave my house." And of course, I was just teasing her and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just crazy and and it's funny because as soon as Jimmy threw that underhand interception, I looked at her and she was like, "I'm not gonna say anything." I'm like, "Good," but no. I will say I have it a little bit different. I think we go 5-1 in the division. because I think the Seahawks are terrible right now. Like, their quarterback situation is so murky. Like, well, the fact that I think it was somebody on here, was it Jade, or no? I think it was Miriah that said a Seahawks fan had a sign in the stands that said, "We
Yeah.
need
Oh.
Jimmy G here on this team." So
I was
I'm like,
literally
wow.
just thinking that. That's
Oh,
crazy.
really?
I didn't say it, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
saw that today. Yeah.
it was Miriah before you came on. So I think we sweep
Okay.
Seahawks. I think we sweep the Cardinals. I think that team's a mess right now. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for PEDs. Like, their coach has got in trouble for doing some stuff. I feel like that team's kind of in shambles a little bit. I mean, you got to put
Now Drew Lock came down with COVID.
Yeah, you got to put a clause in your quarterback to make sure he studies film and stuff like that. Like, that's just crazy to me. So I think we sweep the Cards, sweep the Hawks, and we split with the Rams. I think we go 5-1, and so I think that's how it works out for us.
So do you think that last loss to the Arizona at the end of the season is because they're sitting players?
For us?
Yeah.
No, I think we're going to beat them just in general. I just think we're just a better team. So I think we're going to sweep the Cards for sure. I think the Rams is our issue. The Rams, we're going to go 1-1. I don't know how it's going to go down, because it's funny, us as 49ers fans, we joke that SoFi Stadium's a home away from home because we've been dominating them so much. But like Miriah says, there's going to come a point in time where we're not going to be sweeping them every single year. And I think this year is going to be the year that they beat us once in the regular season. So, yeah, I say 5-1 in our division.
Jade or Rick, do you have an opinion on the NFC West?
Oh man, I'm just absorbing it all over here. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. 49ers sound good. I don't even know right now. Who is Seattle's quarterback right now?
Geno
Lock
Smith.
and Geno Smith.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Got it. Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe Jimmy could end
Maybe
up
Jimmy.
there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I'd say it's between 49ers and the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Rams,
Yeah.
can they hold up? Yeah, it seems to be the tight race. And then, like, I've always liked the Cardinals. It seems like they're good. Kyler Murray started off so well, and now I don't know if he's just getting comfy, like too comfy. I don't know what's going on there, but it seems like the Cardinals are declining, in my opinion. But again, the Vikings lost to them last year, so
We lost to them twice
maybe
last
not
year.
declining so much, but yeah.
The Cardinals are another one that's like, they look really good on paper, and then they really succumbed hard to their loss against the Rams, in the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, the Rams are like a better team, but Kyler just looked like he was running scared,
That's true. Yeah. Not very confident. Yeah. It's crazy.
You're muted,
Yeah.
Tio.
Oh, I have a question for Adam, if that's cool. Ray McLeod, since you're a Steelers fan, I want to know, what should us 49ers expect from him this year?
He's got speed. He can if they put him in the return, he can return kicks. I think he got out of here because we really weren't using him properly as a wide receiver. It was more of a, I don't know,
like a gadget
he was
guy,
more just
kinda?
a return guy, and then he would come in and make a couple big catches, and everyone would be like, "Why ain't he in there more?" Just like James Washington. And then obviously we lost both of them, so we lost a little bit of depth, but we did get Pickens. So I don't know. I like Ray McLeod. Call him Ray.
Ray. I'll give it to the Steelers, man. You guys are one organization that always hits on wide receivers, whether it's Antonio Brown. I mean, you guys had Emmanuel Sanders that a lot of people forgot that you guys drafted. Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, you guys always had some good receivers. Chase Claypool, I don't know what he is yet, but Deontay Johnson. Like, you guys are great at drafting wide receivers, man.
Antonio Brown, even though he's gone through some crazy times,
Yeah.
but he's still great in yards. I mean, still can play the game. Just can't keep his head on straight since the Burkett hit. We've always had a thing for wide receivers.
Yeah.
Now we just have to find a quarterback that's going to be able to give him the ball.
Yeah.
So that's our biggest dilemma, I feel, out of Pittsburgh this year, will be who's going to be starting, because half of them want Pickett, half of them want Trubisky. I would go Pickett. Just let him go.
I would too.
Yeah,
I think that's a smart move.
Why even like Trubisky's used to being a backup. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I feel like Mitch had some potential there too, and then I don't know what happened there. I feel like I don't know right away with him. I thought he looked so good. I don't know, struggling.
Right.
Well, not because I'm in the Niners podcast, so you guys are gonna think that I'm just sucking up to you guys, but no, but the 49ers are sort of like my second favorite team by default, at least for right now, because you guys just made my year, my season, my Super Bowl, and everything in between when you guys beat the Packers last year. So
Yes.
Nice.
I
Rick,
mean,
solid
I-
point. Yes,
I mean,
solid point made.
you guys need to understand that. I mean, you do understand because you got the rivalry with the other Western Division teams. But like for us, I mean, we're right in the. If you live in the Twin Cities, we're right in the border with Wisconsin, and we got to put up with all these cheeseheads.
Yeah.
It's just. Trust me, it's just not a fun thing. So
Yeah.
I had to listen to them brag about their BS and 13-3 and this and that and this and that and so when they played the Niners and you guys booted them out,
Frozen tundra.
oh,
Yeah.
that was just like, like I said, it was my Super Bowl. No, I think the
Yeah.
49ers are a very good team. I
Yeah.
think the Seahawks. I said this last year, even with Russell Wilson, I thought the Seahawks were a team in decline.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember in the draft in 2021, the Seahawks had only 2 picks or 3 picks or something like that. I mean, I don't know what they're doing in Seattle, but they're got in their team, and as soon as Wilson left, I knew the Seahawks were done.
Yeah.
And I think they're done. Even if Garoppolo goes to Seattle, I don't think Seattle does absolutely anything this year. Now, Arizona, this is just my opinion, overrated. I think Arizona is a team that is overrated. I think Kyler Murray is a quarterback that is big time overrated.
Yeah.
So if the Vikings in shambles as they were in the locker room, they were 1 kick away from Greg Joseph to beat them in Phoenix. So I don't think the Cardinals are that good.
Mm-hmm.
So your competition is obviously the Rams.
Yeah.
So I do feel like you guys are going to sweep Seattle and Arizona, and you will split with the Rams. And I don't know what's going to happen after that, but I think the 49ers can easily win the division. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about, what could happen with turning our backs on maybe Trey if he's not doing so good or whatever. And this even goes back to even Jimmy. I'm not, a super fan of a quarterback. I've always been like, I'm gonna be a believer. You're on our team. I like you. Let's go. I root for our team. I root for who's on our team. But if you can't get us to to win the Super Bowl, I mean, he helped get us to the Super Bowl, Jimmy. But we're just a few steps away from not winning it. Then your time's up. Your
Yeah.
time's
Yeah.
up.
I'm glad you said that, Gina, that you said he helped. Because I get so irritated. I get so irritated when I hear so many fans say, oh, Jimmy took us to 2 NFC championships. Like, he didn't take us anywhere. He contributed, but he didn't
Right.
take us.
Right.
And Jade, I want to reiterate something. So you asked me about if I would turn my back on Trey. I want to make it clear that he gets to me. I don't think you can really truly evaluate him till it gets into like his 3rd season.
That's true.
So I want to
Yeah.
make sure. So if he stinks up the joint this year, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna be like, get rid of him and stuff like that.
Right.
Because-
Right.
Same.
But-
Same.
Yeah, but when 2024 hits and he's still terrible and not, I mean, if this is what happens, then of course
Right.
I'm gonna be on him. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like you're into your 4th season now.
Mhm.
You should know the playbook. It should be the game should be slowing down for you. And that's what my
Right.
beef was. And I feel like Miriah and Gina can agree. The thing that irritated us is like you got Jimmy G, who's an 8-year vet, making rookie mistakes.
Yeah.
How many times a season are you going to throw over the middle of the field to a linebacker for an interception? Like, that's something an 8-year vet should learn from. You know what I mean? And he doesn't learn from that. And then two, it's like, I feel like after 2017, we were all for Jimmy. He came in, he went 5-0. Oh man, this is going to be good. This and that. I feel like I started seeing his flaws in 2020. And I feel like, so everybody, that's what I get irritated with, because people want to say you're a hater. People are haters of Jimmy. No, because at one point, everybody was backing Jimmy. We all saw that he wasn't the quarterback for our team at a certain point, whether it was the year after, 2 years later, whatever the case may be. So I saw it in week 1, 2020 season against Arizona. I saw that he could cross out the numbers effectively. He wasn't accurate, deep. I'm like, okay, it's time for him to go. And some people didn't see it till last year. So everybody has their views of when they felt that it was time to get rid of Jimmy. And I tell people all the time, if you want to call us fans as haters because we want to get rid of Jimmy, then call Kyle and John haters too, because they're the ones who traded up to replace him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Now,
I kind of feel that same sentiment, because I'm very hard on Kirk. I'm to the point now where, dude, you got to be done. I'm done.
I want to ask a question, and it's related to that. So, I mean, this is what we hear here in Minnesota, and I want to ask you guys, because you're much closer to the Niners. We hear that Kyle Shanahan, he really wanted Cousins. He didn't want Garoppolo. And when he went to San Francisco, the whole deal for Jimmy Garoppolo was already done, and he couldn't do anything about it. But the guy he really wanted was Kirk Cousins after he left Washington and came to Minnesota. His plan was to, throw all the eggs in the Cousins basket. Is that true?
Yeah. He's come out and said that numerous times in press conferences, and will catch himself, gushing about Kirk, and then has to be like, like he must have got in trouble and was, and then started catching
there was
himself
one
like,
recent
we're not allowed to
gush,
talk about other players. And
is it true that people say that you guys would have won that Super Bowl against the Chiefs if Cousins was the quarterback?
I think so. I think we would have.
I don't think so.
I think Kirk Cousins hits Emmanuel Sanders on that deep ball.
That's a play. That's a play that everybody talks about.
That's one play. That's one play.
Okay,
I get it.
that I agree with. However, Shanahan abandoned the run game, and that to me said a lot. And also, Richard Sherman took some responsibility for the defense's lacking, and said, we lost the Super. Which there was a number of factors.
Guys, I was debating.
Kirk would have made that. I agree.
I was debating whether I should tell you this story or not, because I was debating, but since you bringing it up, I'm just gonna have to do it. So I was fortunate enough to cover that Super Bowl as a media person. So on media night, when there was like a million people there it was at the Marlins baseball stadium in Miami. They had a time assigned to each person that was going to give interviews to the whole media, jackals that we were there, right?
The jackals,
So they had a time for Kyle Shanahan, 8:45 or whatever it was, right? So I tell my camera guy, I say, you know what? I want to go interview Kyle Shanahan, so come with me, because there was nobody at the podium, because I needed to sit there for almost a half an hour and wait for him. So I get there first before anybody else. So then I had dibs at the very first question. So of course, 30 minutes went on and he still wasn't there. But now I got like a million people behind me, right? But I'm first, so I get dibs on the first question. So when Kyle sits down, I thought of this question.
On, Rick, first question.
I had the question ready the whole time.
Yeah.
So I asked him. I said, Kyle, what are you going to do to make sure that if you have the lead in the game in the fourth quarter, you're not going to revert back to maybe perhaps too much of a conservative play, like the one time that you did it with the Falcons? Mm-hmm. So I asked him that question point blank, and you guys can go look at that media night for that Super Bowl, and that first question is mine.
Oh, nice.
And he went like,
Oh,
Well, you know, there are different circumstances, and it's a different year, and it's a different this. But this time, if we have the lead, we're gonna go for like the juggler, like we're gonna go and finish it off.
Yeah.
whoa. I feel like I remember him saying stuff like that or that coming
Yeah,
out.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's crazy.
Totally.
Cool.
I
So
know.
what, so what happened with that?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is what I'll say. People, you know, at the end of the day, he's the head coach. And I think Miriah and Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard people saying that in that Super Bowl that Jimmy was changing plays at the line of scrimmage. Like he was just like Kyle would call a play and then he would audible. Did you hear that too, Miriah? That he would audible and change some of the plays. So to me, that's still no excuse because Kyle should have been like, no, hold on for a minute. I'm the coach. You're gonna call whatever I call. You're gonna run whatever I call. I'm gonna find that as well. But yeah, I've heard that from numerous people that Jimmy was audibling at the line of scrimmage and changing some of the plays that he saw because he saw some stuff on defense that he thought he could take advantage of. So
Does that mean Shanahan kind of shrinks in big moments? I mean, when the pressure's on, is he like?
well, we can say as of now he's 0-2 when he's holding a lead. I'm not gonna take that Falcons. I'm not gonna blame him for that Falcons thing because, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm the head coach. Who was the head coach at the time? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Yeah, but it wasn't
Dan
Kyle.
Quinn?
So
But-
why should
so-
Kyle get dinged when he wasn't the head coach?
so exactly. So
Dan
like if I'm like so Rick, if you're my offensive coordinator and you're calling plays and I see that the game is starting to come away from us, I'm going to step in as a head coach and say, no, you're going to go back to doing X, Y, and Z that was working for us. That's a head coach's job. So I can't
Right.
blame Kyle for that. But this one against for instance, like the NFC Championship game against the Rams, Debo didn't touch the ball in the fourth quarter. That's
Right.
unacceptable. That's
Right.
unacceptable.
Right.
He carried you to that game, yet he gets no touches in the fourth quarter.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
He got no touches. So that right there is unacceptable. There's
Right.
no way that you go away from your best. You see what the Rams did? They kept feeding Cooper Kupp
Yep.
because he's their best player. We didn't give Debo the ball.
You know, that's
unacceptable. Yeah.
that's the one thing with the Rams. I would have to give it to the Rams. When the Rams, when they saw the animal they were hunting or whatever, it was like kind of dead, almost dead. They went
Yeah.
for the kill.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Shanahan is not able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good point. What's your thoughts, Adam? You're kind of quiet.
I'm just listening. You know, I always see the meme like the 10 minutes left where they were all celebrating and then
Oh my God! Shut
just
up!
ended.
Oh, yeah, that.
I hate when they
That's
do that.
cruel. That's cruel.
Yeah.
Ah. No, okay, the Super Bowl, right? It was my brother's birthday party, right? And we were at a bowling alley and we were having a good time and everything like that. And it was the end of the third quarter and I started crying because I said, I can't believe we're going to win number 6.
Oh.
And they go, Gina, stop. It's not in the bag. And I go, okay. Because I've seen all 5, you know. So I was what we call in the Bay. I was moted because
Modus.
I heard that. I heard
I'm
that word
hoping
in a
that
long
what's
time.
happening to you. I'm hoping that what's happening to you guys is going to happen to the Denver Packers at some point, where you, because you haven't won it since Steve Young, right?
Right.
Correct.
94.
Correct.
So I'm hoping for the day where that Rodgers goes away and then the Packers go into this 30-year slump.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, man. I'm 42 years old. And I'm 42 years old. And we haven't won since I was a sophomore in high
Hey,
school.
dude.
So
We haven't won one at all. We don't have
What were you
anything.
doing? What were you doing in 1977? What were you doing in 1977?
I wasn't born. I was born in
Yeah, that-
79.
Yeah, that's the last time the Vikings were in the Super Bowl and they lost.
Yeah.
Wait, you were born in 79?
I was born in 79. Yes, sir.
I'm not. You're 43 then.
No, I'll be 43. No, I'll be 43 October. My birthday hasn't passed yet.
Okay, you just said you were 46. I started thinking, where did I
No,
lose 3 years?
46.
No, I said 42. I said I'm 42. I haven't won
Math
one.
is hard, you guys. Math
Yeah,
is hard.
I said.
tell
win
me
one,
about
yeah.
it. I don't try math at all. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll be
whatever you
43 in
say.
October.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that would have been a Steelers. That should have been a Steelers Niners Super Bowl. in '94.
Oh yeah, because that's the year that you guys. That was a close game. You guys lost to the Chargers, huh?
Yeah,
Chargers.
Tony Martin down the sideline beating us. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I remember that plainly. Yeah, it was unreal. Oh, we were all celebrating, and all of a sudden, we all just fell dead.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I used to brag as a Niners fan, be like, "Man, we're undefeated. We're 5-0. We get to the Super Bowl, we're unbeatable, and we've lost 2 in a row. That's just hurtful. Like I can't even say anything anymore."
Yeah.
I know. I don't even like thinking about it because
Yeah, no.
you talk about against the Ravens, Frank Gore, he could have ran it in, boom, we would have won. You talk about the last one, I still can't. I can't watch it.
Yeah,
I
haven't
can't.
watched
I
it.
just can't. I don't even watch the Ravens. I don't watch them. I don't watch
it.
Jade and I we're just sitting here laughing because we're like, we don't even know what that's like.
I know. I just keep thinking of the Minneapolis Miracle. Like that's kind of the best, maybe one of the best moments for me. And I'm like, okay, good moments. But yeah, we're just absorbing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we're gonna know, Rick. One day, gonna get there. One day.
So
Maybe.
if we get to some, the end of the season records, what do you guys think we're going to do for Vikings and 49ers? You guys have any record predictions?
I made a prediction. I pulled mine out. I made a prediction on my channel back in May. I have the Vikings going 8-9. No, or excuse me, 9-8.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's realistic.
Yeah, I picked them to go, I think 8-9 year before something, but there's a couple question marks, but I don't know. I'm anxious for the first one, for the one versus what I like to call the evil to the east, the Green Bay Packers. So, but I have them going 9-8 back in May. I like to stick with my predictions.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I'll stick with that.
They are evil. They are evil. They're right.
They
to the east.
are,
They're evil.
yeah,
Don't go there.
yeah.
Any specific teams though that you want to call out that you see a good win against, or maybe a bad loss?
Well, I have them sweeping the Bears. I do have them doing that.
Yeah.
I do have them winning against the Saints in London. They're going to England. I do have them winning that one. I think that might be challenging, but I feel like the team plays pretty well away. And I think that we also play on Turkey Day, I think, versus the Patriots. I have them losing that one during prime time. I think that might be challenging. But
That's week 12 against New England.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think November 24th. I think it's night game too. A lot of pressure during those primetime games.
Yeah.
Those ones kind of stick out to me. And then the Dolphin game too. That one I have as a loss for the Vikings. And I don't know. I think that might be a tough one. That one was hard to choose.
I have them losing that game too. I have them also at 9-8, Jade.
Do you? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rick, what do you got them at? What are you thinking?
I got the Vikings at 12-5.
All right.
Yeah, I got them. Doing much better than 2021, where I feel like they could have won 3-4 more games without their, last minute woes.
Yeah.
I know some of the national media people they got them even. I heard somebody they're going to win 13 games. And they're gonna win the North.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to say 13, so I'll say maybe 11, 12 games, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe
I getting to 10 maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, it all depends on the first couple of games are Green Bay and Eagles, and those are challenging games.
Second game.
The game that I have a circle on my calendar, which I think is going to tell a lot of the story where the Vikings really are, because it's like kind of halfway through the season, and it's a very difficult game, and it's on the road.
Which game is that?
It's against Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
November 13th.
November 13th. That game is gonna kind of be a good measure to see where the Vikings are at.
That one? Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one too, just to see Diggs, as well. Back
Oh
in
yeah,
action.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be good.
I got the Vikings and the 49ers finishing the same record. I got us both going 11-6.
Oh.
I
Wow.
think I think the Vikings are going to go 5-1 in that division. I think you guys sweep the Lions. I think you sweep the Bears, and I think you split with the Packers.
I'm with you.
That's what
I'm
I
with,
feel.
I'm with you.
Yeah, that's what I feel. And then so I think a floor. I think the floor is maybe 12-5. I don't think they win 13 games. That's tough for anybody.
Mhm.
But I think so. And then for the 49ers, I feel the same way. We go 5-1 in our division. But I think so the 3 losses I have on my schedule that I feel are pretty much going to be tough wins, tough losses, is I think we're going to split with the Rams, as I already mentioned. I think we get beat by the Chargers for some reason. I just feel like they're going to beat us early on in the season. And then I think the Broncos might beat us as well. Because we play the AFC West, which is right now, to me, the toughest division in football. So I feel like we lose to the Broncos, we lose to the Chargers, and then we lose to the Rams. So that's 3 losses already. And I think there's some ones here and there. Like I think we beat the Chiefs, and I think we beat the Raiders. So I think we split the AFC West. Like Tampa Bay is going to be a tough game. We have to play Tampa Bay. That's another one. And there's always that game that you're supposed to win that you end up losing. That you're
Right.
how did we lose that game? So I think there's one of those in there that could be against like the Commanders or somebody who we think we're going to have it in the bag,
Right.
and then we lose.
I think that might be a game versus the Lions for the purple. I have them splitting with the Lions.
So I think 11-6 for both teams. I think the Niners to me are a better team than the Vikings, and I think we both finished second in our division. So I think we both we finished third in our division, right? I think we finished third. Arizona was above us. So we play all the third place teams in the NFC, which is good because I think that's better for us. So I think Niners could go 13-4 as a ceiling, but I think 11-6 is probably more realistic. And then I still think we win that division.
Can I quickly ask you guys your thoughts on the Mexico game, the international game?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to beat the brakes off of Arizona that game.
but as far as traveling internationally, I only ask because I know the folks that cover the team in the Spanish platform for the Niners, and I mean, you guys are excited they're going to go to Mexico and play there, and
I like it. I think there's a lot of 49ers fans there.
Definitely.
And I'd rather them go there than say play in like London or something, because the travel is so much shorter,
Exactly.
It's not far from where they're at, so I'm excited about it. I think it's pretty cool that that they extend these games anywhere, whether it be London, Mexico, wherever. As long as
it's all
not
really
hard on the players, that's the only thing, that turnaround time, the travel, as long as they work it out so it works out well for them, I think it's good for the fans and everybody else.
I think it's only a 2.5-hour flight from San Fran to Mexico City.
And a time zone might be pretty similar, maybe an hour difference, but we're not have to worry about 8-hour time change and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's going to be pretty close. So,
none of you are going to the game.
Has anyone looked to see if there's a concert the week before?
Hopefully not.
That was a mess. I mean, that game got changed Tuesday or Wednesday that week because the stage made the grass stink.
The underground story on that is that the NFL really wanted that Chiefs-Rams game back in the U.S.
Interesting.
Because that was a huge game, if you guys remember.
I just
totally believable. Yeah, I buy that for sure.
Anything to do with the NFL,
anything to make some extra money,
right?
Yeah.
That's why I totally believe they put the Niners and the Raiders in Vegas on New Year's Day because they knew all the fans were going to be coming to that game.
Right.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
And if I may add, Deshaun Watson coming back just in time to play against
the Texans.
Exactly.
Oh.
And if you want to add one more, I mean, Jade and I, we're gonna have to go to Green Bay that same night on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And get all wasted. So we go to the Packers game the next
The
morning.
next day. Yep. Oh my gosh, that's right. New Year's. Yep. Away.
So yeah,
People to the
it's
east.
just
Yep.
it just all makes sense with how the NFL operates. So yeah, totally.
Right.
All about
Yeah.
money. Yeah, for sure.
Yep, all
Mhm.
about the money.
Well, back to
Who's
the
pulling
Niners
those puppet
question.
strings? Who's doing
What is
it?
going to happen with Jimmy G? Because I guess the Browns totally shut down any interest in him today as well. About
I
2
heard
hours.
that. Yeah. Well, Seattle people, talking about Seattle maybe a little bit.
I think he ends up getting cut. Teams know he's
Same.
going to get cut, so why are they going to spend draft capital and everything to trade for him and pay that massive contract for 1 year?
Yeah, it doesn't make
So-
sense.
Do you think he'll just be done? Maybe like just done.
I don't think so.
I think some team
someone
will
will
sign
pick
him
him
once
up.
he's
Yeah.
available
Yeah.
for cheaper.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be different if it was somebody of the caliber of like a Matthew Stafford or somebody like that, where they can say he can come out and ball and we can franchise tag him. Ain't nobody gonna franchise tag no Jimmy Garoppolo. So to trade some draft capital for a $25 million salary on a 1 year rental is foolishness. So I doubt he gets traded unless
Unless an
there's an
injury
extension
happens,
or
maybe.
there's an extension involved. Like if they say, "Hey, we'll trade for you, but you got to sign a 2-year extension," I can see that, but not on a 1-year deal. No, he's not. He's
I
not
could see
good
maybe.
enough.
Yeah, maybe waiting. Maybe because there's an injury that'll take place. I'm sure on one team with a quarterback, somebody
Well,
might
here's
be
the
desperate
thing, though.
enough.
Well, here's the thing, though, Jade. If he's on the, so you know how I think August 31st you have to have your final 53-man cuts, and you have to give that to the NFL. If he's on the 53-man roster, his salary is guaranteed for
Oh
$25
yeah.
million. So he has to be off the roster by week 1. So he'll be cut, and that's what Miriah said. Teams know that they're not going to carry a $25 million salary sitting on a bench.
And they've already said that they're going to cut him once final roster cuts are due. So, I mean
there are
they've
plenty
already
of teams
said
that
as
can
much.
take him, right? Seattle, Texans,
probably Chicago could take him, could use him just in case of the injury to Justin Fields. There's a couple.
Giants.
There's about
Yeah.
Giants because of Daniel Jones is looking terrible. So there's a bunch of teams who wouldn't mind picking him up.
Does he end up in Dallas by chance for a backup role?
I mean, possibly. Cooper Rush doesn't seem like he's good enough to start games if there's an injury to Dak Prescott.
He beat the Vikings.
How about the Steelers?
Nah.
No, we're not. No.
Yeah.
There's enough.
That's what I kept
Trubisky?
wondering.
You want Trubisky instead? I think Garoppolo is much better than Trubisky.
Yeah.
I have no
Is he
idea.
though?
Too, but I don't know.
Is he though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the Mitchell Trubisky, come on.
He has a
First.
win. Well, okay, let me tell you this though. Somebody brought this up in a space that was a good thing because I thought Mr. Trubisky wasn't that good. He actually took. Well, he helped. I'm gonna use Gina's word. He helped the Bears get into the playoffs, and his winning percentage is pretty equal to Jimmy's on a worse roster.
You got a fantastic defense.
The Niners too, though. So I don't know. I don't know if they're. I mean, if Jimmy's better, it's barely. But I wouldn't say that it's like over the top. Like, oh yeah, he's way better than Mitchell Trubisky.
But if he's cut, can let's say Texans or Pittsburgh, whatever, can they pick him up for a much lower salary?
Oh, for sure, because now his salary is not guaranteed. So now they can say, like the Texans can call and say, hey, I'll offer you
$10 million.
I remember like Mitchell Trubisky as a backup last year only made like $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
So they can offer him whatever they want. It's just him accepting it. So if they say, hey, I'll bring you in as a backup for $5 million a year, I'm sure he would take that. But Tyrod Taylor is making almost 10. So I'm sure that's going to be a negotiation point where they say, well, if Tyrod Taylor can get 10, I want 10 as a backup as well. So,
Garoppolo can command 10, and he's gonna want to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Like, would he take a backup? Role?
I don't think he has a choice, Jay.
Yeah,
if he gets cut a week before the first real game, does he really know the playbook? There's no continuity with the receivers. Everybody in training camp and OTA is going to be ahead of him. And honestly, the Texans, I mean, he'd be good as a backup. I see promise in Davis Mills.
Yeah, but I mean, I was going to say for the Texans, does it even matter that he doesn't know the playbook? It doesn't even matter. The Texans are probably going to lose 17 games.
Yeah, so I don't think he starts regardless of who picks him up. Is my opinion. If he does, it won't be for a couple weeks at least.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, I
right,
don't-
guys. With
Quickly,
any last?
Nick,
Yeah,
Nick
yeah,
Bosa,
please.
Nick Bosa,
Mhm.
he's an animal. Oh my
Yes.
gosh! I mean, today he was loose, and
ran over that guy.
my goodness, I mean, they couldn't. First of all, in a couple of those sacks that he had, they put a tight end to try to block him, and it was ugly. I mean, it was ugly for the Vikings. That he's something else, huh? That guy's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gina, real quick, did you see Javon Kinlaw today?
He
Did you
killed
see
someone
Javon
today
Kinlaw?
too.
Javon, I think you're muted, Gina.
Well,
Yes,
I know
I did.
he pancaked Jesse Davis yesterday. I mean, he just ran him backwards, and
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I was just seeing him. He's listed at 6'5", 300 pounds. I've never seen a 300-pounder look as ripped as he does, like six-pack, all that. Like the
Yep.
dude's just shredded for being that big. It's like kind of like how Aaron Donald is at his size. Like he's just a monster. I was looking at him like, man, this dude's a beast. Like not an ounce of fat on that man's body. I'm not saying that like I was checking him out like that. I'm just saying like for him to be.
I mean,
that
even if
big-
you were, no judging.
yeah,
know?
no, but I'm just saying, but Gina, if you go back, it's been posted on the timeline.
I
matter
think
of
I
fact, by
retweeted the
Steph San-
Kinlaw video.
Yeah, by Steph Sanchez, she put it out there for sure, and I'm just like, man, like it should be illegal to look that good at that size.
Yeah, just pancaked.
Yeah,
I had to mute because I had a little background noise
No,
going on,
it's
a
okay. I get it.
conversation.
I get it.
I'm at my mom's house so that the whole world knows. My dad passed away, so I've been here a lot.
Sorry to hear
He-
that.
Thank you. It's just been a little rough lately. But yeah, I just I love when and Mark in the chat says Kinlaw is a beast, Team Kinlaw, and Ty says Kinlaw is chiseled, he ain't a fat line.
Yeah.
You guys, I had a blast. This has been fun. Any like parting thoughts before I get you guys to plug your stuff?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the combo. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate the Vikings info from both of you. It's
Absolutely.
been good to, learn about what you guys got going on over there. And I wish you guys the best this season and a healthy season for you guys.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mhm.
So
I have fun. I always have fun.
Yeah.
Hey Adam, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I can't have the Steelers winning any more Super Bowls until we catch up.
I know.
I don't like the fact you guys have 6, man. I can't. I'm not feeling that.
That's it's okay. You guys might catch us. This city's turned into okay with just 9-8 football. As long as we're above 500, no one can say anything bad about the City of Champions because I don't
Because
like
it's a
it.
winning record. Is that why?
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. I always hear. It is great what Tomlin has done for him to be coach and never have a losing season. However,
I know.
at some point, 9-7 and 10-6 aren't good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, we've had 3 playoff wins since we lost to the Packers in 11.
wow.
That is not the City of Champions. And I think I say that every show we're on here, Gina.
Yeah.
But he's my coach, so I gotta, I'm a
He
lot
can
like
do no wrong.
Like you
Yeah,
said
yeah,
about
it's
Kyle
kinda like-
Shanahan. Yeah.
it's kind of like T, like you just said about your takes on, oh, you're bashing them, No, I'm speaking facts.
Yeah.
And
that-
no coach would make it. I don't know.
That's what we were with Mike Zimmer. It was the exact same situation. Just 10 wins, 9 wins, and nobody say anything bad about Zimmer because you're a hater.
Yeah, and it's funny too because teams who haven't won a Super Bowl doesn't have much success. Going to the NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game to them is a success. Us Niner fans, me, Miriah, Gina, it's starting not to be good enough. I'm sick of going to the NFC Championship. Like that's not good enough for me. We have 5 Super Bowls. We haven't had one since '94, like we mentioned. That's not good enough. We need that 6 to come home.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do.
We'd like one. We would like one someday.
Look. We all have to catch one person, and that's number 12 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He owns more than the whole league.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The Niners are 5-0. We're 0-4.
So we're 5-2 now.
Oh, that's
we-
right. 5-2. We're
5-2. We were 5-0.
0-4.
5-2 now.
0-4.
That's hurtful to even say that.
Sorry, the Steelers added your losses there. We did beat the Purple Eaters.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's one of our losses against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But I had a blast. I always do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I try to
Anytime,
not stir
Gina.
up
I
the
know you
pot
want to
too
have
much.
different guests. I know you like to have different guests, but if you hit me up in advance, I have a pretty weird schedule as far as work because you guys are probably not like this, but I'm a HOA manager. I'm the one who bugs people about their house not looking good. So sometimes my schedule is all over the place. But yeah, like you did this last time, you gave me in advance and said, "Hey, can you come on my show?" And I'll be more than happy to come on there, if possible. So.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to have return guests. And hey, we'll bring back, if we meet each other also in the playoffs, the Vikings, we'll bring you guys back too. And it should be a blast. We'll have a little party.
There you go.
Thanks, you guys. So why doesn't everyone
So wait, hold on. We have a prediction lady. We have Jade. She does like predictions through astrology and stuff, right? So what do you see for the playoffs?
Oh man, I haven't looked at all, but I will say I did. I was right with my Super Bowl prediction this last year. Called that
Nice.
one. So, yeah, I usually do. I do planetary pregame before my live streams, where I look at the planets for each game.
Nice.
So yeah.
Jade, I'm a Capricorn. Do you see a Super Bowl in my future?
Rick, I am also a Sun in Capricorn as well.
Oh
Capricorn
my!
Club.
Virgo,
Do you
Earth
see a-
signs,
Do you
Earth
see a
signs.
Super Bowl in our future, Jade?
You know what? Though, funny enough, though,
If you
Capricorn
say
is
there's a
ruled
Super
by
Bowl, in someone's
is ruled by
history right now,
Saturn,
we have three
so it's
Capricorn. Well, who else is
a long
Capricorn?
time. I think it's eventually, but long story short, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, so it's a long road to the top, but eventually we get there. But we gotta wait.
Isn't that an AC/DC song?
Probably, yeah.
If you want to rock and roll,
No, it's a long way to the top.
Oh yeah, if you want to rock and roll. I'm
That
not
is
gonna
not
sing because I don't
AC/DC,
want you guys to go deaf.
that's not
So-
AC/DC though. I don't think.
So, Adam, I'm going to say this since you want to talk about Super Bowl predictions. I've said this for a couple months and I'm going to stick with it. Like Jade says, I'm going to make a prediction. I think it's going to be the Niners and Bills in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Ooh.
mark it.
That's
Okay.
right. Scorpio
Oh,
on the
so-
house. That's what I'm
Scorpio.
So
talking about. Scorpio.
I was gonna ask you if you're Scorpio or Libra. Yeah.
high expectations for Trey Lance. And
Yeah, because all he has to do is be better than Jimmy.
sorry, Gina wants to end the show, and I'm still asking questions.
No, it's fine. If you guys still want to go,
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
the time constraint. I'm just
So Rick, I'll tell you this: our defense to me and Miriah. So I'm gonna ask Miriah and Gina because I think they would agree.
I'm a
Our
Virgo too.
I think our defense is better than last year. Okay, like our defense has improved with getting Charvarius Ward. We seem to be healthy now. Javon Kinlaw, who was our first round pick a couple years ago, seems healthy now. He clogs up the middle. We have some great pass rushers, like you said with Nick Bosa. We arguably have the best linebacking core in football.
Let me tell you.
Yeah,
You don't have to tell me, because I had him 20 yards from me this morning, and there's some bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you saw it up close and personal, so you know.
I mean, what's his name? 54.
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner.
Mhm.
He's a bad man. He's a bad
Miriah
man.
and so the 49ers had a draft party here in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay, and Miriah and I got to meet him up close. We got to shake his hand, get his autograph, and all. You remember that, Gina?
I saw pictures
Yeah.
and videos. I wish I was there.
Yeah, and he's
Wait, you guys are in Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in Vegas. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not catch that earlier. I'm sorry.
really?
How did I didn't
Yeah.
know that for last weekend? We were in Vegas last Sunday.
Really?
I
You should have
known
hit me up, man. I would have took you around. But yeah, so anyway, to make a long story short, I don't want to keep talking. But yeah, I think our team on paper, like you said, on paper is better. And Jimmy last year had a total of 22 touchdowns, but he had like 18 turnovers. If Trey Lance is better than that, I see no issue of us not going further. I feel like there's going to be at least 10 more touchdowns. And I think the turnovers, even if there is about 15, 16, because maybe 12 interceptions, 4 fumbles, whatever, I think the touchdown is the fact that he can attack every area of the field where Jimmy couldn't, our offense will be more potent. And then him having the ability to run with his legs is going to open up our running game, which Kyle Shanahan loves to do anyway. So I look at it as like we have a great team. 49ers to me have a top 5 roster from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So if our quarterback can emulate a little bit, do Jimmy, but a little bit better, I think we're good.
This is going to be this will be so Vikings, right? This will be so Vikings. I would not be surprised if we miss out on winning a Super Bowl and Trey Lance, a guy from Minnesota, takes you to win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Put it out there, man.
That would be awesome.
And I will be, you know what? And I will be very happy for you.
I'd be happy for him.
Because of Trey. Because of Trey.
Yeah.
It always feels good having a hometown kid, right? Like something extra to
be proud
root for. Or
for sure.
I think that's why so many people are behind Kenny Pickett, because he went to Pitt and they watched him play for 4 years. And I just feel that that's why. And I think Kenny Pickett's a good quarterback, but that's just me.
If it was me, I started Pickett over Trubinsky all day long and twice on Sunday.
I agree.
And they have Matt Canada as old coach from Pitt, so that's just my personal opinion. But we're not here to talk about my Steelers.
Well,
Yeah.
I love this show. This show was awesome. You guys are, I mean, honestly, if you guys want to talk like after, we could still chat, behind the scenes.
Off
But
air.
why don't we go ahead and have you guys plug your stuff? Jade, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
Yeah, thanks again for having me on. It's been fun. I've enjoyed chatting with you all. My YouTube channel, you can find me Sports and Stars with Jade. And then I'm mainly on Twitter. I'm on at AHipHipLady on Twitter. So find me over there.
Cool.
Great. And Rick, thanks for joining us as well. And where can we find you? Do you have a YouTube channel? I know I found you on Twitter.
Yeah. So again, just like Jade said, thank you for the invitation. It was a great time talking with you guys. I think the joint practices with the 49ers was very beneficial for both teams. So I wish you guys also success in 2022. So for me, you can find me on Twitter under @Sosa Rick, SOSA RICK, and also the platforms that I belong to is the Purple Code. You can find me also through those platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram under the Purple Code. On Twitter is the Purple Code 1, but everything else is the Purple Code.
And Taryn and Miriah, what's the name of your podcast?
Yeah, you can find us at 49 Faithfully on YouTube. And then I'm mostly just on Twitter as well at Miriah49Lee.
Great.
Cool. Yep. Just like as Miriah said, her and I have a show together that we do. We just try to give you at least 1 or 2 a week, depending on what's going on. But we actually everybody in the chat and also you guys on the panel. We're having our 1-year anniversary show next Friday, the 26th.
Congratulations.
I know you guys aren't. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know you guys aren't 49er fans, but we're doing some giveaways and stuff like that. So, even if you're not a 49er fan, you might have somebody in your family who is one or whatever, or if you win, be like, oh, I'm keeping this for Trey Lance since you're in Minnesota. we have our 1-year anniversary show next Friday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. So it'll be 6:30 Minnesota time.
Oh, I'll tune in.
Yeah. If you guys want to join. I'm only on Twitter as well. I don't do Facebook and Instagram like that, but my Twitter handle was TL49erMagic_23. So
great. And Adam, please tell the people where we can find you, Mr. Colleague, friend of mine, partner in crime.
On Twitter, you can find me at Sports Talking It. I'm mainly on that one. I am on But right now, I'm having trouble following people because I hit that goofy 5K following thing on Twitter right now. So I have to keep deleting people.
I think if you log out and then log back in, you can do it again or something. There's some trick.
No, it's like
Um,
once you hit 5K, it won't let you get over it until you're like caught up or even from what people were saying.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, I'm only at 2,000 actually followers, or whatever way it's posted. Followers, yeah. So I have to delete like 2,500 people. You know how challenging this is?
Yeah,
Because most of
I
it's
remember
sport
that.
teams and like they're not going to follow us back unless you're lucky. Rick, they might follow you because you're actually in the media, right?
Some depending on the day.
Like are you got media coverage for the Twins?
No,
Just
like,
football.
well, and I cover a couple of Packers games. And yes,
My gosh.
they really, Jade, please don't be mad at me.
No, I think it's awesome, dude. Yeah.
They forced me.
It's
They
great.
really forced me. I swear to you that it was a playoff game, and this Packer fans that I know, they were like, "Oh my God, that those tickets are like $1,000. You're gonna get to go for free." And I'm like, "Yeah."
No, that just means you're doing good work. So
Yeah. So
no.
so I do NFL coverage. I've been to Pro Bowls, Super Bowls, and things like that. But I love being a fan, because that's the reason why we all got into this thing, because we love our team, and so I'm a fan first.
Nice.
Okay.
You see what somebody said in the chat? Is Rick a traitor or a spy? So
We'll
Adam, it
probably
looks
never
like
know.
so
Yeah.
Adam, it looks like I'm following you already, and Jade and Rick, I just followed you guys as well. So
All right. I'll get you
Yeah, I'm
back.
trying to clear up space right now to make room.
well, to
Rick,
be,
I
to be
think you're the
fair,
only one.
yeah,
I
to be
think Rick's
fair,
the only
Adam's
one
not
following.
lying, because his following right now is 4,999. That's your following right now, which is hilarious.
I'm trying to delete people. Yeah. Oh
my
man.
God.
Yeah. Did you guys ever have that problem, or did you blow right through there?
I
I'm nowhere
I
near
don't
I don't
that.
follow
I'm
that
not
many
there yet.
people.
I
No.
didn't have that problem, so no, I didn't.
No. You're just
I guess
special, dude.
It must be only in the City of Champions.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, we haven't been the City of Champions in a while. Well, the Penguins have, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk Mark RJ Fleury a little bit, huh?
No.
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 Why,
I don't
you
want to
don't
go
know?
there.
I
I don't
wanna
want to
say
go
this-
there.
I want to say before
All
we
right,
hang
we'll lay
up,
off hockey then.
I want to say before I get off, nice to meet everybody on here. You guys are all great people. You guys are knowledgeable. Yeah, so, I mean, me and Miriah and I usually talk 49er stuff, but, we talk about anything and everything that goes on in the NFL. So, I would love for you guys to even come on our show one day just to talk football. So,
Yeah.
Great.
That's what it's
Thanks,
all
you
about:
guys.
growing together and growing and talking and getting
That's
out
right.
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and end the broadcast, and thank you all for joining me on the second episode of Reppin' with Gina G. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
I had
everybody in the
fun.
comments section, too. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for watching
Thanks
us.
everybody for
Yes.
watching.
Appreciate all you guys for joining us.